have also extended an invitation for a matching interview with House Republican Majority Leader John Boehner. Congresswoman Pelosi, welcome.
A pleasure to be here.
Today's deal, it was announced late today between the White House and the Senate on military tribunals and interrogation rules for terrorists. What do you think of that?
Well, I haven't seen the particulars of it, but the principles that we have heard in the news reports sound very much like legislation proposed by the Democrats last week in the House Armed Services Committee, which was an approach that would enable us to get the most reliable intelligence to protect the American people, that will enable us to prosecute those responsible for 9/11 and bring them to justice, and would do so in a manner that was consistent with the Geneva Conventions so as to protect our American soldiers should they come under questioning. So that was rejected in the House committee, so I'm not surprised that Chairman Hunter is, Duncan Hunter is not holding back his approval.
Well, do you expect him to finally give in on this, or do you know?
I don't know. He's not fond of deals that are made between the Senate and the White House without the House participating.
But just based on just the rough knowledge that we all have of this, it looks to you at least as if the President and the White House blinked on this?
Yes, indeed. I think that the authority that Senators Warner and Senator McCain and Lindsey Graham and others, and certainly Secretary Powell, for obtaining reliable intelligence to protect the American people, as I said, to bring those responsible for 9/11 to justice and do so in a way that protects our troops, as finally they impressed that upon the President and persuaded him.
And so unless Duncan Hunter and others who feel the way he does rise up in some way, you think this will be enacted into law before you all adjourn next week?
I don't know. It may come to the floor of the House and Senate if it has time to go to conference and back. I don't know if that can be done before the election. But again, we haven't seen the particulars of this, and as you know, the details are very important.
What else do you expect the Congress to do before you all adjourn next week?
Well, they haven't done much. This is really a do-nothing rubber stamp Congress for the President. In a few days, we'll reach the end of the fiscal year, and this Congress has still not passed a budget. Democrats are proposing our 6-for-06. We think that we could pass before we leave here the 9 initiatives to make America safer, for example, to pass the 9/11 Commission recommendations, to make our economy fairer by passing an increase in the minimum wage, to make college more affordable as students are going back to school now by making tuition tax deductible, to move toward energy independence. All of these are simple, discrete bills that are in the hopper to guarantee a dignified retirement, and of course to make health care more affordable by giving the administration the power to negotiate.
But none of that's going to be enacted into law between now and next week, is it?
Well, it could be. Yeah. But instead we are doing bits and pieces of an immigration bill without approaching it in a comprehensive bipartisan way, which is necessary in order to manage the immigration issue. Again, we haven't passed a budget. We haven't even passed all of our appropriation bills. So there's much unfinished business.
Were you surprised by the lead story in the New York Times this morning about their new poll, which said that only 25% of the Americans they polled, at least, had approved of the job the Congress of the United States was doing?
No, I would be among those who would not approve. I was pleased that that same poll said that if the election were held today, that 50% of the American people would vote for a Democrat and only 35% would vote for a Republican, a 15-point spread. But that's today, and today is not election day.
So all the problems of the Congress are the Republicans' fault?
Well, I think that the Republicans have taken great pride in saying that they control everything. They have the mandate, the House, the Senate, and the White House. We're proposing a new direction with our 6-for-06 that I told you about, but also that starts with integrity, where you cut off the link between special interest and legislation and are there really for the people, where you have civility, bipartisan administration of the House, where the voices of the minority are heard no matter who is in charge, and fiscal discipline. We haven't had that. If we have it, then we can move quickly into the people's business. We are, after all, the people's house.
Are you serious about this? That
yes.
If the Democrats win control of the House in November, that you will bring the Republicans in and operate in a bipartisan way?
Absolutely, and we put it in writing in our new direction for America. It's in writing in here, and it's available at housedemocrats.gov.
But what would be your motivation? The Republicans your claim that the Republicans have not involved the Democrats in the leadership. Now, what would be your motivation for allowing them in?
Direction. It's what our founding fathers had as their vision. It's what our soldiers sacrificed their lives for. It's what the aspiration of our children are about. Whatever we do, we should do in a way that is very democratic. It doesn't mean we have to agree on all issues. We won't. We'll try to find our common ground. We owe that to the American people. But where we don't have it, we stand our ground, have the debate on the ideas, have the transparency and the openness, and let the people decide.
Do you want to be Speaker of the House?
I want to have a Democratic Speaker, yes, and I think that coming in with, again, integrity, civility, and fiscal discipline, we can do what the American people want in their interest.
As you just said a moment ago, the election day isn't election day. What do you see when you look ahead to election day? Are you optimistic at all about the Democratic control of the House?
I'm optimistic one day at a time. I evaluate one day, 1 week at a time. In 17 days, we'll begin the absentee balloting, the early voting. And then, of course, 47 days, we will have the election. I'm optimistic because of our issues of a safer America, fairer economy that I mentioned. I'm optimistic because of the caliber of the candidates that they have. They're talented. They have law enforcement, national security, fiscal discipline credentials, and they care about the future of our country.
All the polls show that Iraq is the major issue going into this election. First of all, do you think it should be? And what is the choice between Republicans and Democrats on Iraq?
Well, the Republicans are proposing stay the course. And since we went into this war on a false premise, a wrong premise, we went in with the expectation that would be received differently, wrong again, that the reconstruction would be paid for by the Iraqis, and soon, wrong again. We were wrong on every score, and the president says stay the course, wrong again. Stay the course, no, we're proposing a new direction where we want to work with the president in a bipartisan way to urge the Iraqi government to disarm the militia, to amend their constitution, to involve people and end some of the civil strife, to engage their neighbors in diplomatic initiatives, and to begin the responsible redeployment of our troops out of Iraq beginning no later than the end of this year. That's different from the course that the president is on.
But he's still going to be president, whether you're the Speaker of the House, whether the Democrats are controlling the House or not.
No, but I think he'll have to answer for this. $500 billion have been appropriated for this war, much of it unaccounted for. Many of our troops without the equipment that they need, without an end in sight. We've been in Iraq longer than we were in Europe in World War II. The president still doesn't have an exit strategy. It's just not right. We need a new direction. An exit strategy is what the president needs, and you, as the Democratic majority,